too long in the outhouse, for there's creatures that live in the hole. When your work there is done, pull your pants up and run, if you want to be saving your soul. There once was a lass from Killarney.
Let's begin by talking about the history of treasure digging prior to Joseph Smith ever engaging in it. And I think I want to begin, again, I'm on the Mormon Stories website with this essay on treasure digging, and I'm going to read a quote from Benjamin Franklin to kind of tee this off. Is that okay? Yeah? So here we go.
Better than me.
Benjamin Franklin writes, and this would have been 1730, at length a mighty hole is dug, and perhaps several cartloads of earth thrown out. But alas, no kag or iron pot is found, no seaman's chest crammed with Spanish pistols or weighty pieces of eight. So this is Benjamin Franklin in the early 1700s talking about a con, I would call it, or a practice, or folk magic, or whatever it is. People are doing this as early as the 1700s and probably before.
Alert the authorities. The Smiths, Joseph Smith was engaged in treasure digging? Oh my goodness, what a con artist. What a fraud. I can't believe it. You know, I didn't even know that treasure digging was illegal. Oh, just think of all those innocent people deprived of their money from such harebrained schemes like digging for treasure on the weekends. Wait a minute. I have quite a few friends that have metal detectors and they dig for treasure on the weekend. Well, I am going to call the police right now and turn them in. Oh, but wait. Here's an article in the New York Times. Threat to Archaeology, the Privy Diggers. This was published in 2001. For a weekend of digging in an old potty hole in Lincoln, Nebraska, Tim Clements was hauled into court this summer. The charges? Criminal trespass, criminal mischief, and theft. What was Mr. Clements doing? Rooting in a privy, looking for bottles, dishes, and as one privy digger put it, lots of real cool stuff. Privy diggers are the outhouse equivalent of people who sweep over old battlefields with metal detectors, looking for bullets and coins. On their websites, they list prime digging areas, discuss shovels, and show off things they dredged up. One collector bragged that he found guns, a set of brass knuckles, a pistol, glass eyes, and a slave collar, a dog collar in the privy. Another said he found marbles, pipes, ivory, toothbrushes, and combs, porcelain dolls' heads, dentures, cigarette holders, brass rocks, and many other strange items. But now some treasure hunters are finding that the privies they covet are already claimed by archaeologists. Oh, so the archaeologists are fraudulently digging for treasure in these privies. And the archaeologists are playing tough. They accuse the privy diggers of destroying history. Privies, you'll see, are not only treasure troves, but also perfect archaeological sites. People throw everything into them, and those things tend to stay put. At least they used to. This is happening in 2001. They're finding artifacts that are very valuable, not only to archaeology, but also, as they say here, they sell these items on eBay and get quite a bit of money from collectors. Well, just think about 150, 200 years ago, how much more stuff you could dig up in from the Revolutionary War, from ancient Vikings, all sorts of things. They were pulling up silver coins, silver pots and pans. The New England hills were littered with these artifacts that brought a lot of money. And the only reason why these laws are passed, not to protect the public from fraud, is to protect the oligarchs and the wealthy people so they can go in and dig and find these artifacts and keep them. These artifacts are very wealthy, and they use their archaeologists as cover for them. Now, remember in Iraq when the U.S. Army invaded Iraq, first thing they went to was the Iraqi Museum, and the U.S. looted it, and those artifacts are now being sold all through Europe. So these Mormon scholars have twisted the very profitable endeavor of searching for ancient artifacts and treasure digging and coin digging into something that is fraudulent. Well, there have been so many successful treasure diggers that there's too many to even name. However, I also want to point out the fact that at the time of the trial, Joseph Smith was a minor. He was 17. And these adult old Mormon scholars are trying to characterize a 17-year-old as some sort of sinister con man and use that to impeach Joseph Smith's entire character. Further, at this trial, Smith was acquitted because it was proved he had been very successful at his money digging and had helped the farmers who had traveled hundreds of miles to hire him to help them on the farms and to work part-time on the weekends, helping them to dig for treasure. Let's look at a video showing some of the more successful treasure diggers of today.
It's the 13 biggest treasures ever discovered. Back in 2014, a middle-aged couple in Northern California accidentally stumbled across 1,400 gold coins while walking their dog. The old coins were likely stolen from a coin minting factory back in the gold rush era of California and hidden underground for a couple hundred years. The individual coins were auctioned off and ended up raising $11 million. The British are constantly sweeping their own land with metal detectors in hopes of finding ancient treasures and trinkets lost in history. In 2001, one such hobby treasure hunter, a retired electrician, was sweeping a grassy field with his metal detector, hoping to find something valuable in the dirt. He unwittingly uncovered this bona fide treasure, a 3.5-ounce cup carved from 20-karat gold. The 3,500-year-old cup was made around the same time Stonehenge was built and was valued at 270,000 British pounds, or roughly 390,000 US dollars.
Don't linger too long in the outhouse, for there's creatures that live in the hole. When your work there is done, pull your pants up and run if you want to be saving your soul.